Now, the circus of our illegal migrant policy rolls on with damning revelations that a knife-wielding criminal who scores of Labour MPs successfully campaigned to stop getting deported went on to murder a man in London just months later. This is the moment Ernesto Elliott engaged in an 8-minute street brawl where he robbed and murdered his victim with a blade in 2021. Absolutely shocking. 6 months earlier, Elliott was due to be deported to Jamaica on a chartered Boeing 747 after being convicted of separate knife crimes in Britain. Yeah, no surprise. Do-gooder celebrities and Labour MPs penned a letter to the then Home Secretary, Priti Patel, demanding that the plane should not take off, citing the criminal's human rights, never mind the human rights of his victims or anything. The likes of Diane Abbott, Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell, Claudia Webb and Lloyd Russell-Moore all signed it, and it followed a separate letter to the Prime Minister months earlier demanding another plane load of criminals was grounded. That one, crucially, was signed by Keir Starmer. Yeah. So, Kelvin, hello, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. You obviously think that that plane should never have taken off and this chap should have remained in the country and is a lovely guy. Possibly?
Possibly not.
Not, yes.
So
what do you make of this?
There are a number of issues here. First of all, they are all Labour and Lib Dem. There's some Lib Dem Herberts in there as well. They are a shocking collection of the usual suspects, Lammy, Thornbury, Diane Abbott.
Oh, yes.
Now, the issue there is, much of this is race-related because of the Jamaican criminals. So the issue here is that the person that was murdered by the person they stopped leaving the country was of colour. So not only was it a murder, actually these people acting in an of-colour situation, they were saying, we can't allow these people to go back to Jamaica because what might happen to them. So they have now actually allowed somebody else to be murdered. Who is going to apologise? Is Naomi Campbell going to apologise? Sandy Newton, is she going to apologise? That lady Harris out of the Bonting? They all have allowed their names to go forward. These 60 Labour MPs were doing it for political reasons. So somebody has died in a Greenwich street in the middle of the day for a political reason. So what do the Labour Party say? After all, Lammy today is Foreign Secretary.
Why do our rights always get overlooked? I mean, our rights to be safe on our streets. I mean, as we know, knife crime in London in particular is through the roof, in most of our cities. So why do we, the ordinary people, get forgotten about?
Well, what is quite clear now is that colour does make a difference in terms of what your chances are of getting your voice heard. So there was quite a famous professor signed that particular letter, got involved in it anyway. Now, if that had been somebody of a different colour, a white professor, the chances of him surviving or her surviving in their university would be quite small. What is going to happen to this guy? Is he going to be traduced in some way? Is he going to apologise? On the question of why it is that ordinary people who are white can no longer expect to get a fair crack of the whip, the answer to that is that politicians are scared to be involved unless it is of the minority issue. But you know that to be true. And not only that, so my friends in the United States, they send me time after time after time stuff which actually is making the journey across the Atlantic to here. So we can expect more of this debate.
Oh, God. But, Kelvin, it's not only violent criminals, is it, we're struggling with? I mean, the shocking new data out today shows that offences like blackmail, burglary, pickpocketing are just going unpunished because overworked police are saying that they don't have time to deal with it. They're tackling more serious jobs, like the criminals running around who should have been deported. I mean, is this the right approach? We're basically we're saying crime doesn't matter. Carte blanche to go and do what you want.
I think that's the case. The police claim correctly that they have to spend 20% of their time now dealing with mental health issues of people shouting and screaming in the streets. I don't blame the police at all. I'm sure there's some bad eggs in there, nowhere near as bad as some of the people that were out there. I read some stat the other day that apparently if you get a bike stolen in Worcester, in between... By the way, these bikes, anywhere between, say, 120 grand, 120 pounds and 10,000 pounds, it does matter. Just wave a fond farewell to that. It is pointless apart from insurance calling up. For instance, go to a supermarket. If it's less than 200 quid, there is no charge for shoplifting. So there's wholesale shoplifting. So you go around to your local supermarket and speak to the manager there. They know. They go, oh, there's Tom the shoplifter. Watch out for him. Oh, look, Eleanor's in today. And do you know what? Nobody will do a thing about it. Now, why is that? Why is that? And what they say is there aren't enough police. In the same way as we say there aren't enough jails. If actually we should invest the money in the same way as we're talking about investing more money in defence. Why is that? Because a war's started. There is a war going on in our streets and in our towns, and people don't feel that they're being listened to.
We don't feel safe, do we? We do not feel safe on our streets anymore. And as you say, reporting a crime, and I did have a bike stolen, it was a very expensive bike, managed to track it down, and even then the police still wouldn't do anything. It had a tracker on it.
You found the bike?
Yeah, found the bike. It had a tracker on it. I knew where it was, but the police said, no, we can't do anything, and you can't go and get it yourself because it's too dangerous.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how far was it from your house?
It was up in Cambridgeshire at the time. It was stolen at the start of the race. In any case.
Well, hold on a second. Whereabouts was it that it was considered too dangerous? Or will that be...
You can't confront criminals, evidently. That's the police job, only they're not doing it, are they? In any case, Kelvin, we have to leave it there. Thank you much. I should continue the story another day.